So I'm going to be doing some desensitizing with Atlas to the dewormer. So I'm going to be working with the tube dewormer. Right now I just have just like a regular like syringe. I got it at Walmart. I think it's like in like the baby section. I don't know, I don't have kids, but I'm pretty sure that's where I found it. It was like $2. But I wanted to get him used to just the syringe itself. And then later on, I'll start introducing the syringe with the paste in it. Just because right now I want him to have really strong positive association with just a syringe and not like the scent of the dewormer. That'll come later on. From previously to this, I've just been using a feed through dewormer, and I want to kind of change it up and make sure that he can be dewormed with a tube dewormer. So right now I'm just presenting that syringe, and he's just targeting it with the side of his face by his muzzle. That's all I'm doing right now, and then I'm reinforcing that. And then I'll kind of continually shape that to where I can get it closer and closer to his mouth, and then eventually in his mouth, and then in his mouth for longer periods of time, and then I can actually deworm him. So that's kind of the process. But I just want him to touch it on his own. It's a lot scarier if I hold him and I force it on him versus if I offer it to him as a target and he willingly touches it and then gets reinforcement for it. That works pretty much with everything that I do. That's what I do. So now you can see that I've kind of gone further away from his cheek down toward the corner of his mouth, and I'm just kind of placing it there and then allowing him to touch it there. And I just had to switch out my camera. I think my battery died. So you can see I'm trying to get it a little bit higher so his face isn't so low, but I want him to touch it kind of right in the corner of his mouth, up kind of by his nostril. That's what I'm looking for. So offering it, and right now I've kind of turned it to where it's kind of touching him in the corner of the mouth. Before it was just flat against it. Now it's kind of poking a little bit. And I really want him to do it on his own. I want him to kind of open his mouth on his own and kind of put it in there. That's really what I'm looking for, but I'm just getting the targeting to get closer to that. So right now it's just touching, and then it'll be closer and closer to inside the mouth until he kind of does that on his own. So I'm trying to hold it up so his head's not so low so the camera can see. I don't want him targeting with like a different part of his face though. He's a little confused by that. I'm just gonna wait for him a little bit. I'm gonna help him out and just kind of put it in the corner of his mouth and show him this is what I want. He didn't seem worried by that at all because he doesn't have a history of that being worrying. So just kind of placed it in the corner of his mouth, clicked it when I did so, and then kind of show him again. That's kind of the behavior I'm looking for. So that time he kind of brought his muzzle up a little bit more and touched it on his own. I'm presenting it. He's kind of chewing. I probably should have waited a little bit longer before I presented him with the syringe again. That was really nice. So I presented it right by his muzzle and he went ahead and touched it. So I'm going to give him a little bit more reinforcers, a little bit of a jackpot there to show him that that was the behavior that I want because he seemed to struggle with it just a little bit. I'm just going to hang out with him a little bit while he chews that, because while he's chewing that reinforcer, he's more unlikely to kind of go and look for another way to earn more food because he's already got enough. That was a really nice try there. And I'm also doing this behavior in kind of my little wash rack area. That looks really good. So I'm kind of doing two things at once because I do want him to stand up here more often for grooming, for like husbandry behaviors like deworming, and for getting his feet done. So that was really nice. I'm going to give him a little jackpot.